diving into the fascinating world of Euryhalan fish and uncovering the secrets behind their incredible adaptability. From mighty salmon to powerful bull sharks, these animals are true masters of survival, undertaking epic journeys that defy the very laws of biology. So, get ready to explore the amazing science behind how these fish conquer two completely different worlds. First things first, what exactly does Euryhalan mean? It's a scientific term that sounds complex, but the concept is pretty simple. Eury means broad, and halan refers to salinity or salt content. So, Euryhalan fish are species that can tolerate a wide range of salt concentrations in the water. This is a huge deal because for most fish, a sudden change in salinity is a death sentence. Freshwater fish placed in saltwater will dehydrate, and saltwater fish in freshwater will essentially swell up. It all comes down to a process called osmoregulation, which is how organisms balance water and salt levels in their bodies. Let's break down the challenge. Imagine you're a fish. Your body is basically a semi-permeable bag of water. In a freshwater river, the water outside your body has a very low salt concentration compared to the inside of your cells. Through osmosis, water is constantly trying to rush into your body to dilute your internal fluids. To avoid bursting, freshwater fish have specialized kidneys that produce large amounts of dilute urine to get rid of all that excess water. They also have special cells in their gills that actively pump essential salts into their bodies from the surrounding water. Now, flip the script. In the salty ocean, the situation is completely reversed. The water outside is much saltier than the fish's body. So, water is constantly being pulled out of the fish, leading to dehydration. To survive, marine fish drink a lot of seawater. But wait, wouldn't that make things worse? Not exactly. They have incredible gills that act like tiny desalination plants, pumping out the excess salt they consume. Their kidneys also work to conserve as much water as possible, producing very little, highly concentrated urine. So, how do Euryhalan fish manage to switch between these two completely different operating systems? It's not like flipping a switch. It's a gradual and complex physiological transformation. They have to completely re-engineer their internal machinery. The most famous example, of course, is the salmon. Salmon are born in freshwater streams, sometimes hundreds of miles inland. As they grow from fry to smolts, their bodies begin preparing for the journey to the sea. This process, called smoltification, is a masterpiece of biological engineering. Triggered by a combination of size, age, and environmental cues like day length and water temperature, their bodies undergo a hormonal cascade. The hormone cortisol, often known as the stress hormone in humans, plays a key role here. It signals the gills to start developing those special salt-pumping cells known as chloride cells or ionocytes. Their kidneys change function. Their skin thickens and becomes more silvery to camouflage them in the open ocean, and even their swimming behavior changes. They start to feel an instinctual pull towards the sea. Once they reach the estuary, that magical place where the river meets the ocean, they have a crucial transition period. Estuaries have brackish water, which is a mix of fresh and salt water. This environment acts as a natural acclimatization zone. Here, the young salmon can test and fine-tune their new saltwater coping mechanism. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Take a look at this banana. You've probably eaten hundreds, maybe even thousands of them in your lifetime. They're in our smoothies, our breakfast bowls, our desserts. But have you ever stopped to wonder where this perfect, portable snack actually comes from? The story is way more fascinating than you might think. It's a journey that spans continents, involves incredible botanical quirks, and relies on a global chain of dedicated people. Today, we're peeling back the layers on the banana from its humble beginnings as a tiny shoot to the ripe, sweet fruit in your kitchen. Get ready, because you'll never look at a banana the same way again. First things first, let's clear up a huge misconception. The banana plant isn't a tree. It's actually the world's largest herbaceous flowering plant. That's right, it's technically a giant herb, and the trunk you see is not made of wood. It's a pseudostem, which is a tightly packed bundle of leaf sheaths. Think of it like a giant celery stalk. It's sturdy enough to support the massive weight of the leaves and the fruit, but it's fleshy and full of water. This is why banana plantations look so lush and green. The life of a banana begins not from a seed, but from a rhizome. This is an underground stem, kind of like a ginger root. Farmers plant a piece of this rhizome, called a sucker or a pup, into the rich tropical soil. These plants are picky. They love warm, humid climates with plenty of rainfall, which is why most of the world's bananas are grown in equatorial regions like Latin America, the Caribbean, and Southeast Asia. Once planted, the sucker quickly springs to life, sending up leaves that unfurl into the massive green canopy we associate with banana plants. For the next 9 months or so, the plant's only job is to grow, soaking up sunlight and nutrients. It's a race against time, as each pseudostem will only produce fruit once in its entire life. After about half a year, a truly spectacular event occurs. A huge, teardrop-shaped purplish bud emerges from the top of the plant. This is the banana blossom. Instead of growing upwards towards the sun, it hangs down due to its weight. As the large outer petals, called bracts, lift, they reveal rows of small, delicate flowers. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The bananas you and I eat are a special variety, typically the Cavendish banana. They are parthenocarpic, which is a fancy word meaning they develop fruit without their flowers being pollinated. In fact, if you look closely at a banana, you'll see those tiny black specks in the center. Those are the remnants of unfertilized ovules. They're not seeds. Wild bananas, on the other hand, are full of hard, pebble-like seeds that would make them pretty unpleasant to eat. The lack of seeds in our commercial bananas means they can only be reproduced asexually through those suckers we talked about earlier. Every Cavendish banana you've ever eaten is essentially a genetic clone of every other one. Back on the plantation, those tiny flowers develop into fingers, which grow into a bunch known as a hand. Multiple hands grow together to form a massive stalk of bananas, called a bunch or a stem, which can weigh over 100 pounds and hold up to 200 bananas. You might notice that bananas curve upwards as they grow. This is due to a phenomenon called negative geotropism. They start by growing downwards, but then they instinctively turn towards the sunlight, creating that signature curve. Harvesting bananas is a physically demanding job that requires skill and strength. The bananas are always harvested while they are still hard and bright green. If they were left to ripen on the plant, they would become starchy, split open, and be far too soft and sugary to survive the long journey to our grocery stores. Workers, often working in pairs, use long, curved knives called machetes to cut the massive bunch from the plant. One person cuts the stalk, while another, called a backer, catches the heavy bunch on their shoulder to prevent it from bruising on the ground. It's a carefully choreographed dance. Once harvested, the journey to your fruit bowl begins. The large bunches are transported to a packing house, often via a cableway system that snakes through the plantation. This minimizes handling and prevents bruising. At the packing house, the bunches are cut down into the smaller hands that you see in the supermarket. They are then washed in large tanks of water. This washing process serves two purposes. It cleans the fruit, and more importantly, it stops the flow of latex, a sticky, milky sap that oozes from the cut stems and can stain the peel. After their bath, the bananas are carefully inspected, graded for quality, and packed into cardboard boxes. These boxes are specially designed with ventilation holes to allow for proper air circulation. From here, the green bananas are loaded into refrigerated containers on cargo ships, kept at a precise temperature of about 56 degrees Fahrenheit or 13.5 degrees Celsius. This cool temperature puts the bananas to sleep, so to speak. It slows down their natural ripening process, keeping them fresh and green for their ocean voyage, which can last for weeks. When the ships arrive at their destination country, the boxes of green bananas are unloaded and transported to special ripening rooms. This is where the final, crucial step happens. You can't just leave them on a counter and hope for the best. These rooms are airtight chambers where temperature, humidity, and atmosphere are controlled with scientific precision. To wake the bananas up and trigger the ripening process, the rooms are filled with a small amount of ethylene gas. Ethylene is a natural plant hormone that bananas produce on their own to ripen, but adding it in a controlled environment ensures that the entire batch ripens uniformly. Over the next 4 to 8 days, a magical transformation occurs. The ethylene gas triggers enzymes within the banana to start converting starches into sugars. The hard green peel softens and turns that familiar sunny yellow. The flavor develops from starchy and bland to sweet and creamy. Ripeners are experts who can program the bananas to reach a specific shade of yellow-green, timed perfectly for their arrival at the grocery store. They know that by the time you pick them up, they'll be at the perfect stage of ripeness for you to enjoy over the next few days. And so, after a journey of thousands of miles, from a tropical rhizome to a refrigerated ship and a high-tech ripening room, the banana finally lands in your shopping cart. It's a testament to incredible botany, hard work, and a marvel of global logistics. The next time you peel one, take a moment to appreciate the amazing journey it took to get to you. It's so much more than just a simple fruit. Thank you so much for joining me on this fascinating journey today. If you learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world around us. Let me know in the comments what food you'd like me to explore next. Until then, stay curious.